guys, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. Today I'll be working on my 2000 Ford Explorer XLT, the Exploder, and I'm not sure if you ever ran into this issue with your second gen Ford Explorer or possibly a vast number of other cars, but you go ahead and lift up the hood or your lift gate or maybe your rear glass and you reach in working on something and it comes crashing down on the top of your head and pretty much ruins your entire day, perhaps your entire week. And so that may have or may not have happened with the rear lift glass on the back of my Explorer here. And so what we're going to do to take care of that is install these gas lifts. These are from Strong Arm. I picked them up off of Amazon. I'll have links for these, but I've already replaced the hatch lifts already, as well as the hood ones maybe a year or so ago. I've never got around to doing the rear glass, so that's what we're gonna do today. And this really applies to a wide array of cars that use these type of lift struts. But to give you an idea of what this one looks like, they're all kind of different. But for this one specifically, maybe you can see this, but it has almost like a little oval cutout here. This actually goes over a little ball pivot, and then on the other end is pretty much like a little bearing piece right here, and pretty simple. You see on the back of this there's a little notch. You can put a little flathead and you can punch that out and it'll slip over the little pivot. And on this side is going to be a little pin held on with one of those little C-clips. So we're gonna go ahead and get back to the rear of the Explorer, get that glass lifted up, and then get these replaced. Here we are at the rear of my Explorer, and just to show you kind of a quick difference, I've already replaced the lift hatch, and you can see lifts up perfectly. These are much larger than the ones for the glass. You can see here they're relatively large, and then if we show you in comparison the glass, I mean, it slams down with pretty decent amount of force when you lift these up. And you can see the much smaller, much smaller little gas lifts here. And I mean, it kind of holds it up if you ram it all the way to the top, and you can see it slowly sinks down before crashing down. So it's kind of a safety issue at this point, but super easy to get these replaced. So we're gonna go ahead and get this first one over here removed, and we'll get a closer look of exactly how to remove this from the vehicle. You're gonna want something to prop up the glass or your hatch if you're doing that. I'll have part numbers for the second gens, for the lift hatch gas lifts, as well as the hood, and these ones I'm using for the glass. So if you need to pick up either of these sets, the concepts are pretty much the same to replace these. So I'm gonna go ahead and get something to prop this up so it doesn't come slamming back on my head again, and we're gonna get this thing replaced. Here's a little bit better view of everything. I'm gonna try using this little hook tool. I don't know if you can see that very well. And I'm gonna try to place it into the little notch that's cut into the little collar right here. This locks onto this little pivot mount point. And you should be able to just get that wedged in there and then hopefully pry that up enough to remove. There we go. And as you've seen, that popped right out. And then we're gonna have to move up here. There's a little bit of a C-clip that you need to actually push off to release that pin. I'll see if I can try to use this screwdriver and get this thing popped off without dropping the glass onto my head. And as you can see here, I was able to pry off this little C-clip. Do not drop it. I initially dropped one of these and it took a little while to find it. Once you get the clip off, it releases the pin and you can pull the pin out. Mine is a little bit rusty. Yours may be rusty as well, but there you go. You remove the pin and then the whole assembly comes out. There's a closer look here. And then this is the little piece that connects to the bottom right here. And here is the pin. If you want, you can clean yours off or not. And then we'll go ahead and we will reinstall the top first. Here is the new one, definitely much nicer looking. Real quick to note, mine came, if you look at the two, here's the one that I took off the car, here's a new one, and they don't, the orientation of the top and bottom here don't perfectly match with each other, so you can actually rotate it by grabbing this top section right here, and you can kind of rotate it a little bit. And so what you want to do is rotate it to match the lower and upper orientation, so it will fit onto your car as you expect. So I'm gonna go ahead and line this up. So that appears to be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this here with the pin. Pin goes in from the right side through, and then right here. And then you want to go ahead and attach your C-clip. Hopefully it goes on without too much trouble. Oh yeah, this clip looks like it's pretty mangled, so I'm gonna get some pliers, get this on here, and then kind of squeeze it in place. I went ahead and squeezed the C-clip a little bit so it stays in place. You don't want this thing to be so loose it just falls off, and then you potentially lose your fancy new gas shock strut thing here. So we're gonna go ahead and lift this up. Hopefully I don't drop my prop. And then this should just snap over the pivot. You might have to slightly adjust it. And then there we go. And it shows how much stronger the replacement is. It holds the glass up completely, pretty much by itself. So yeah, this one's knocked out. I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the other one. Same exact steps. You're just gonna wanna remove the bottom portion first. Just get your little hook tool or small flathead, pull up on this little, almost like a snap piece. Once you remove that up, this should be able to pop out. Then you can go ahead and remove the little C-clip, pull the pin through, and it comes right out. Then you want to adjust the orientation of the bottom piece right here so it lines up with the one you took off. Snap, put the pin back in, replace it up here, attach the C-clip, make sure it's tight, doesn't fall off, easily. And then this just pushes on and snaps into place. Both of the lift shocks have been replaced, as you can see here. And as you can see, it is a considerable improvement on the old worn out ones. I mean, look at that. It shoots itself up. I mean, it doesn't spring open as soon as you open it. Hit the button, lift it up just a little bit, and boom. Do note that you might want to tighten down the actual attachment point to the truck here on these hinges here. Mine was kind of sliding around, as you can see here. I'm going to tighten these up, and then, well, yeah, we'll wrap this one up. So, yeah, pretty easy as far as it goes with installs. Super useful and definitely much safer. You don't have to worry about dropping this on your head. Now, as mentioned previously, it's not exactly the same with the install on the other gas shocks here. This has the exact same attachment here on the bottom as the glass one. The top is of here is actually just like the bottom, where you just pull out the little thing and they snap out. These are even easier. You don't have to worry about pulling a seat clip. So yeah, definitely I would recommend doing these, the hood and the glass. All very similar or the same type of replacement. I'll have links for everything in the description. You can use those to make sure you get some quality lift shocks. And yeah, as always, you know, thanks for watching the video. And feel free to subscribe, like, share, comment, all that fun stuff. I'll be doing hopefully more videos on the Explorer, my Camaro, my wife's Mustang over off camera over here. And I will not be doing any more on my Beast, the NV 3500, as I just sold it over the weekend. So I have more time for these cars. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, and always, peace.